Continuous rain has caused havoc in the Vaal. Infrastructure has been damaged and communities are calling on government to assist with evacuations as there are fears of further rain and damage. Our senior reporter Silindelo Masikane is on that story and joins us now with the very latest. Good morning yet again, Silindelo. When we spoke the last time, you were yet to speak to authorities on the kind of help that they can provide to community members. What's the latest now?
Well, now we find ourselves at the Vaal Dam, where we know, of course, that continuous rain has resulted in essentially the dam itself being full. And as a result, authorities have had to open at least 12 floodgates to release the water and ensure that they can preserve the infrastructure. I'm going to ask Joe to just walk with me and show you what really does look, from my end anyway, it's quite a magnificent sight to see all this water. However, we know that the result of it is that a number of communities in and around the Vaal area have been terribly affected by the amount of rainfall. And we've seen from this morning alone a number of homes that have been damaged due to that heavy rainfall. And what we're seeing right now essentially is a process that's been undertaken by the Water and Sanitation Department to release some of the water from because of the fact that it is so full. We understand that there are at least about 60 or so floodgates, and only at this point there are about 12 that have been opened. But we have seen the damage and destruction in terms of these communities that have been affected. But to just give us a sense of the process that is unfolding that we are seeing right now, I am joined by the DDG of the Water and Sanitation Department, that is Mr. Leonardo Manis. I'm going to bring him in now at this point. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Perhaps maybe explain in terms of the amount of rainfall we've seen over this past weekend and what the process is that we're seeing that's unfolding right now.
Well, at this point in time, we're receiving more than 3,000 cubic meters per second coming into the dam. You see, when we started off with this high flow season, the dam was already full because in November, December, we also had a high flow situation, which is now coming at higher frequency. We are currently discharging through the 12 gates in the vicinity of 2,300 cubic meters per second, which is 700 cubic meters per second less than what we're receiving at this point in time. So we are not tempted at this point in time to open another gate because the prediction shows that there's not going to be a lot of rainfall coming in this week. So which we mean that we will have the capacity, attenuation capacity inside the dam to actually lower the dam a little bit and soften the blow downstream by using this dam for that purpose, which is a secondary function of the dam to do flood attenuation, because the primary function is to do storage. So we don't want to release too much water so that when the rain season is finished, then we don't have enough water stored. So that is what we are busy doing.
Are there any communities that you're aware of that are affected by the release of this water in terms of the damage to their homes or infrastructure?
Sorry. Yes, we unfortunately are aware that downstream there are people that are affected, especially those who live adjacent to the river, those who are also within the 100-year flood line, that they have suffered damage. But we are making the recommendation going forward for people also, as we did in the past, not to erect permanent structures within the 1 in 100-year flood line, because it will be at risk when we have high flow conditions like this, which is not man-made. It is a natural phenomenon to have a flood. The department, through structures like this that we are on now, are using these structures to minimize the impact downstream. As I just told you, we're receiving 3,000, we're currently releasing 2,300.
Perhaps then, will there be any relief provided to these communities, or is that being left to the communities themselves or perhaps local authorities?
Well, we are not getting involved in that for now, because as it is that we have a rule that we are trying to enforce to say don't build within the 1 in 100-year flood line. There where it has been proven or can be proven that has been exceeded, then that we have to look into. But for now, we are operating all our government water schemes within the premise that we can keep the flow within the 1 in 100-year flood line as far as possible. But should there be a flood that is going beyond that, that is outside the control of the department, we are just going to operate our dams and government water schemes as per the guidance that we have of our own operating rules set and developed with the hydrological information that we have at our disposal.
How long can we expect the floodgates to remain open, the 12?
Well, we are reviewing it every 6 hours. For now, we are going to keep it for 12 for this day, till the end of this day. After that, we will review again to see whether we can reduce it. But the likelihood of increasing is slight at this point in time because the flow upstream of the 3,000 that we are measuring coming in is subsiding. So we hope that that will remain the same so that we will then start considering reducing instead of increasing. Thank you very much.
All right, that is the DDG for the Water and Sanitation Department, outlining the process that we're seeing taking place in terms of the heavy rainfall that the province has experienced in terms of Gauteng, which is not the only province. We know that there are a number of communities as well in the Eastern Cape, Limpopo, as well as Mpumalanga, that have been severely affected by the floods. At this point, the message from the department in terms of water and sanitation is for those who are living along the banks to evacuate, but also that people should refrain from building alongside riverbanks, etc., which is why we're seeing some of the damage that we're seeing taking place. But as you can see, we have been told that these floodgates will remain open at least for the next 6 hours and perhaps for the day, and that there will be a review in terms of when they will be shut.
Thank you very much for that update. That's senior reporter Silindelo Masikane for us.